going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Monday. That's right, back on the grind. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Although I know if you woke up this morning and had a look, you're probably in a good mood. Bitcoin is up 2.73%. A lot of the altcoins are up today as well. So it is a nice green day. Now, what exactly happened? Well, we were sitting at around $10,100. Bitcoin popped up, went sideways, and then we went from 10.3 to 10.7. So currently, we actually finally broke out of some of that key resistance that we've been talking about. This is good. However, currently now we're being held down by yet another level. We're going to get into that, but does this mean that we're out of the woods? I want to talk about Bakkt specifically because some people are saying that Bakkt is already priced in, and that's why we didn't see as much of an explosive move. It could be. I do want to look at that. We also have bears still calling for $8,000 levels. Let me know if you think that's still possible. We are going to look into that today. Actually, objectively see if Bitcoin could possibly fall to these $8,000 levels again, given our current situation. Also, big news from Rakuten, which is pretty much the Japanese version of Amazon. They just launched a cryptocurrency exchange. Imagine how many people are now going to have the opportunity to trade, buy, and sell these different cryptos, right? That's going to increase exposure. Also, two more topics. Today is a big day. You do not want to miss out on this episode. You're going to want to watch this one all the way to the end. We're going to talk about Binance. Looks like they're somewhat trying to be competitors now with Libra. And something that came out from Vitalik regarding Ethereum, he actually said that he's concerned about scalability and he's afraid that the Ethereum blockchain is almost full. That's his words, not mine. We're going to get into that. And if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, today is the Ledger Nano S giveaway. That'll be at the end of the video. Also, for anybody new to the channel, if you want to skip around anywhere, I do have timestamps below. Maybe certain things are more interesting to you than others. And if it's your first time checking out the channel and you're not subscribed yet, well, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Now, having a look, one thing real quick, I do want to look at the money flow chart. Actually, Crypto J had mentioned this in the Telegram group. One thing that we're noticing is you're not seeing a lot of inflows from US dollar into Bitcoin. You're only seeing about $344 million flowing in to Bitcoin in the past 24 hours, whereas you're seeing $1.94 billion worth of Tether. So the question is, are we actually not seeing new money come in, or are we just seeing money that was hedged into stable coins, or as we know with what is happening in China, they're converting it to USDT, before we can even see it come in. So I do want to kind of analyze that as well. Are we actually seeing fresh capital coming into crypto? Well, we're going to talk about that, but having a look at what is going on right now, Bitcoin dominance is up to 68.7. Lots of green today, guys. If we switch it over to the Bitcoin comparative, it's a little bit mixed. Bitcoin is outpacing some of the altcoins. Some of the altcoins are barely outpacing Bitcoin. I would say that today is more of a Bitcoin day leading the charts, okay? Whereas we had seen the altcoins rallying. But having a look at some of the big gainers, Bitcoin Diamond is up. Bytem, Bytecoin, Beam, HedgeTrade, BitTorrent, Ren, Bitcoin SV, Hypercash, Dogecoin, and Walton all looking quite well today. Having a look at Coin Farm, it's looking kind of neutral right now. But of course, that's currently, interestingly enough, though, the longs have pulled ahead. So there might be a slightly more bullish vibe going on in the community with the traders right now. So we're going to dive in. We're going to have a look. Now, the first thing that I do want to point out is we finally got over the 200 moving average on the 4-hour. You can see right here, we were struggling. We touched it 1, 2, 3. Finally, we popped through. So currently, we are sitting well above the danger zone. This is good. Okay. So Fibonacci levels from 12K to the recent low, 38.2% was tested twice already. Looking forward to see it broken. And this is from Crypto Hamster. Well, Crypto Hamster, we broke it. However, we are being held down still by the 50 moving average on the daily, guys. This is the big sandwich that we're sort of putting in between these two levels, okay? I really would like to see us break out above this. Other thing, too, you're noticing is volume. It's kind of low right now. It is a Monday. I would have hoped for a little more volume to start the week off. But that being said, currently we do need to see if we can break above this 50 moving average. Now, this is what I was talking about. Joseph Young said, I do have to say, based on the movement of Bitcoin, it seems like most of the Bakkt launch was priced into the market. Maybe investors got tired. Since Bakkt is physically settled after its launch, it will really show whether there is a big demand or not in the market. I like this. See? Nobody cares. Well, it's not just that. The other thing I wanted to say real quick before we keep looking at the charts is a lot of people don't really trust these announcements anymore, right? I mean, Bakkt has been saying it was supposed to be launched since December of last year. We've constantly seen Bakkt get pushed backed, right? Or back. But anyway, people probably don't trust it as much. And I think now it's more or less like, I want to actually see the damn thing get launched, right? So a lot of people are a little bit speculative to whether or not that's going to happen. But good news, on the 4-hour, we finally have closed above the EMA ribbon. Now, this is good because as you can see, when we tend to close above it, we usually start an uptrend, right? But I would like to see us stay above it just because we closed above it, on a couple. We are looking at the 4-hour, so we haven't been up here for very long. If we stay here above this level, let's say for like the next 24 hours, and we're able to put in a nice solid daily, well, then that would definitely be some good short-term bullish levels. Now, having a look at some of the key resistance here. By the way, this is Market Cipher. You can do support resistance. There's 3, remember? So having a look right here, you can sort of see where Bitcoin is. We're at that $10,700 level, and you can see if we go over here, it is putting in resistance. By the way, the purple is resistance, the yellow is support. So it would be nice to get above this $10,700 level, and then the next key support we'd want to put in is pretty much $10,800, and if we can stay above that, like I said, for at least 24 hours, right, show that there's some stability, well, then that could show that Bitcoin is looking to actually go higher. Now, we did have a trend reversal on the 4-hour over here on the Market Cipher. We put that in. That was the 31st, and we did have a nice uptrend. We did have the blood diamond signaling down. We saw some manipulation. We had another blood diamond, but now we are seeing a trend reversal with 2 diamonds that were put in. Now, obviously, I would be careful because whatever time frame you're looking at, I'm looking at the 4-hour. You want to keep looking at the 4-hour, okay? If you're going to be using Market Cipher, you don't want to switch and jump from the 4 to the 1 because then you're not going to be getting these same symbols that are put in, right? So I would keep our eyes on this trend reversal. So does that mean that we're reversing from the downtrend? Well, that's what it meant the last time we put it in over here, right? Keep your eyes on that very closely. The other thing you're noticing is that we are starting to put in this arc. All of these wicks on the daily are sort of starting to curve upwards, and we do want to meet this descending wedge down here. And once again, most of the charts, if you actually look at the triangle, it's saying early September. This is saying maybe the second week of September. So all eyes are on basically the end of this month to the beginning of next month for a massive explosive move. But we know Bitcoin tends to be impatient. I would not be surprised if we saw something sooner. But hey, K-Dub, you're getting too bullish over here. Let's talk about the bear scenario, right? We want to crash and burn. We want some cheap Bitcoin. Well, it's possible. We could go down, right? Socrates over here, he tends to go on the show with Tone Vase. He used to do a lot with Tyler Jenks, hyperwave theory. So we do have bears out there. He's saying a measured move. If this is a bear flag, which it does kind of look like a bear flag textbook-wise, right? Then he was saying that a measured move would bring us down to the $8,775 target. Now, coming over here, you could see, okay, so we had the pole, we have the flag. Now, currently, if you notice, I would say that we would probably have some kind of a breakout if this is a bear flag, okay? At some point when we hit this downwards resistance that started basically back here around August 6th. So somewhere either around August 20th, okay, we're going to hit this top, or if we fall down into the channel and come out a little farther, we may have that drop around August 22nd, right? So having a look at that, we basically have the measured move. So if we were to drop down here, like Socrates is saying, well, that would put us down to, I'm getting around $9,000. He's saying around $8,775. I'm not personally seeing that, but it is possible. I mean, I guess if we have the breakout sooner, if we break out now, then yeah, we might go down to those levels. Now, if we were to wait all the way to the end and have the breakout here, that would almost put us basically level with where we had this candle close, and we might be looking to put in finally a higher high, or at least a higher high, compared to this lower frame. We still have to get above, this $14,000 level, but I would like to see us close, because we just keep putting in, lower high, lower high, lower high. So we need to put in a higher high, even if it's just compared to the one that we just previously had, right? But I do want to just talk about a few reasons why I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. Let me just show you. First of all, we have this parabolic trend that's been holding us up literally since we had the initial blast off on April 1st. We have never fallen below it with the exception of a few wicks just here and there. But as you can see, this is on the 12-hour, so we didn't even stay down there for 12 hours, okay? So that shows you that we can't even put in a wick for more than a day below this level, which means it's very psychologically holding, at least for the traders or the bots or whatever happens to be looking at it, right? So that's also why I say, to come down here to this $8,700 level, I mean, that would be an incredible move. And yeah, it would basically completely break the trend that we've been in. So the trend has been our friend, right? It is our friend until the end. If it breaks, then we'll start becoming bearish. But currently, we're still going up, okay? We're still putting in higher lows. So that's just a key point I wanted to point out. And hello, big indicator right here. We are still well above the 21 exponential moving average on the weekly. And why has this been such an important moving average? Well, honestly, because it was the one that supported us during the entire 2017 bull run. I mean, we never fell below it. Look, we wicked down here a little bit on July 10th. We came down another time on September 11th. Basically up until that point, we stayed above it. And then when we did finally wick below it, you could see here on January 15th, well, that is when we just basically went full on bear mode. And what happened when we got above it on April 1st? We went into full on parabolic bull mode. So currently, this is sitting at around $9,000 even. So if you do believe that we're in a bull market and you do believe that this is a parabolic uptrend, then we should not fall below this 21 exponential moving average, which is currently sitting at about $9,000, which is why I think at this point, we're probably not going to fall below 9K. That's just my opinion. You let me know what you think down in the comments below. But in my opinion, according to my buddy Josh Rager, he says this seems just like one large reaccumulation happening after large players took profits near 45K. He says price could drop down again, but it's highly unlikely it falls below the 21 MA or like we were looking at the 21 exponential, and that's around 8K. He says, at the moment, I'll take my chances at scaling in slowly week by week. So you can see right here, this probably most likely is that reaccumulation zone that we were talking about a few weeks back on the channel. But let's talk about Bakkt. Is the price already priced in? Are we not going to see a massive explosion? Was that little pump it? Is that all that Bakkt had in it? Well, outside of that, outside of the price, I want to talk about 5 reasons why Bakkt is actually extremely bullish for Bitcoin regardless of the price situation, okay, that's happening. Number 5, we're going to count backwards here. It's paving the way for institutional investment. So by tapping into this market, Bakkt is going to be paving the way for more investments into Bitcoin and subsequently the cryptocurrency market as a whole. For all of my, altcoin bag holders out there, right? I know you guys are getting antsy, but hey, we got to bring them in usually through the gateway, which is Bitcoin, and then that's when they tend to get into the other ones, right? Bakkt's entry into the crypto industry is going to inject confidence into investors who prefer a regulated framework around any of the investments that they make, right? Some people just don't want to invest unless they have that regulated framework, right? Number 4, you finally have secure storage for Bitcoin. Now, I know what you're saying. We have secure storage. We have Monarch Wallet. We have Ledger, Nanos, right? But some people don't want to be their own bank, sadly. Some people don't want to take that responsibility, right? They want to have someone else manage that risk, right? You forget your password, you call up the company. You forget your private key, you're screwed, right? So you are going to see Bakkt also providing secure warehouse facilities for the storage of Bitcoin. The storage facility is a strategic service as it adds confidence to investors that their assets are stored securely, right? Also, number 3, established names will lead to more established entries. Bakkt is associated with some pretty big names, guys. Don't forget, you have ICE, New York Stock Exchange, okay? And this is going to interest other big names in the trading sector as well. Number two, we have an on-ramp for increased institutional investment. Given its origin, Bakkt is likely to appeal to more traditional investors. This will hopefully pump money into the crypto industry and also promote the growth of the industry through other dealings as well. So with more traditional investors involved, traditional corporations may opt to incorporate Bitcoin payments into their daily operations, right? Starbucks, Microsoft, we could see this, right? And finally, we have the adoption of Bitcoin by the retail sector, and it's pretty vital, and it may have some explosive growth. It's possible, right? So with the expected improvements of Bitcoin payments through the Bakkt platform, payments will be faster and more efficient, thus suiting the retail payment needs. So Bakkt's operations may make it easier for Bitcoin to be integrated in more retail stores through the influence of the investors that Bakkt is likely to pull. So I know a lot of people are, out here saying that, maybe the Lightning Network isn't exactly the answer. And I know that glorified bar tabs aren't exactly Satoshi's vision, but for the average person out there who's just used to using a credit card, leaving their money in the bank, this is a step in the right direction. And I think that we are going to see some massively explosive things happening to Bitcoin moving forward. We're already seeing some massively explosive things. We have Rakuten, I might be pronouncing that wrong, not sure, but anyway, they're the Japanese e-commerce giant, and they've launched their own exchange for crypto spot trading. This is going to start with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. Now they have it available for their Android mobile app. iOS is coming soon. Users deposit their cryptos into their cold storage, essentially, which will be held offline. They say there's no fees for deposits, no fees for making trades. That's interesting, but there is a fee when you decide to withdraw it. But I do think this is a pretty big move. Now, Binance had a big announcement, and we're going to go over this very carefully because I want to see what this is all about. They look like they're essentially trying to challenge Libra, pretty much. So this is the official statement that came out. They're calling this project Venus, okay? So basically they say that Binance announced its plans to initiate an open blockchain project, Venus, an initiative to develop localized stablecoins and digital assets pegged to fiat currencies around the globe. They say Binance is looking to create new alliances and partnerships with governments, cooperations, technology companies, and other cryptocurrency companies and projects involved in the larger blockchain ecosystem to empower, develop, and help developing countries to spur new currencies. So it looks like Binance is trying to save the world here. So with its existing global blockchain ecosystem, Binance has already reserved its public chain technology and cross-border payment system for secure operations of new stablecoins, right? We have seen the Bitcoin pegged stablecoin BTCB. We've also seen BGBP pegged to the British pound, right? So Binance says that they will provide full process technical support, compliance risk control system, and multi-dimensional cooperation networks to build out Venus. So they're trying to take this big, guys. Binance, to me, sounds like they're just trying to be like the end-all be-all chain, right? I mean, they have said that they don't have smart contracts on the BNB chain, which is something you do have to consider, or Binance chain, whatever. But they do say that they welcome, here's the interesting part, additional government partners, companies and organizations with a strong interest and influence on a global scale, to collaborate with them to build a new open alliance and sustainable community. They encourage like-minded people and organizations to contact them and discuss the infinite possibilities of the digital world together. So let me know what you think about Binance's Venus project. Do you think that they'll be able to get this one off the ground, considering how difficult it is with Facebook? Now, Facebook is very centralized, so they're not exactly the same, but I think this is going to be very interesting moving forward. I'm definitely interested. Please let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Now, here's something else. Now, I'm not trying to spread FUD. This is directly from Vitalik. I'm just the middleman. Don't kill the messenger. So Vitalik Buterin says that the Ethereum blockchain is almost full. In an interview with The Star, he said the hurdle that it faces, especially with big organizations that are interested in Ethereum, is the scalability. He says we have a bottleneck because the Ethereum blockchain is almost full. If you're a bigger organization, the calculus, if we join, it will not only be full, but then we will be competing with everyone else for transaction space. It's already expensive, and we will probably even make it 5 times more expensive because of us. So there is pressure. So how to improve the situation? Well, he says that they need to get away from proof of work, where every computer needs to come to consensus, and move to proof of stake. Now, arguably, even though this is better for energy consumption and it would help to increase transaction and scalability, you do have somewhat of a compromise for security, right? And Vitalik does admit that. But he does argue that for the future of crypto in general, he says we need to take a pluralist view, saying that we need hybrid solutions. He even mentions Ethereum and Bitcoin working together. So he clarified his stance in a response to a proposal to implement the Bitcoin Lightning Network as an interface for Ethereum contracts to enable instant payment in Bitcoin, while simultaneously triggering a series of events on Ethereum or any other chain. Very interesting to see how these two could work together in collaboration. Could we have essentially smart contracts where we could have Bitcoin that gets released instantly, right? I do think about this on the channel. I do fantasize about ideas of, say you got married, right? And you had a prenup or something like that. Wouldn't it be interesting if you could actually do it on a smart contract where if an oracle said that, hey, okay, we got a divorce, this was signed off by an official member, well, now the Bitcoin or the assets that were locked in those smart contracts now get released. Obviously, very simple to do with NFTs and ERC20s, a little bit more complicated with Bitcoin, but I do think that it is still very early in these days. So should we be freaking out? Not necessarily, but I'm glad that they are saying, hey, we need to pay attention. We need to focus on these things, right? So also moving forward, Satoshi Nakamoto, my reveal, part 1. So actually, I don't know what this is all about. I don't know if it's a gimmick. I don't know if Satoshi's going to really reveal himself. I highly doubt he is, he or she or they, right? But in this blog right here, it basically says that Satoshi is a man, and it talks about some interesting things down here. Actually, I like how they said he came up with the name for Bitcoin. It's actually taken from Bank of Credit and Commerce International. I don't know if that's true, but he took the letters from there. Talks about Hal Finney as well. Dorian Nakamoto is in here. Pretty interesting, actually. I all jokes aside, this actually is a very educational little thing to read. So if you haven't, check it out. Part 2 is going to be today, where he talks about his strong belief in Chaldean numerology. Not 100% sure what that is. And then part 3, which is apparently going to happen on Tuesday, he will reveal who he is. Okay? So, take it with a grain of salt, is what it is. But talking about some altcoin news, guys, this is sort of unfortunate for Horizon State. They came out and said it's with heavy heart that we've made the decision to shut down our doors. The estimated cost to challenge this case and potentially proceed through the mediation process to reach a settlement is an eye-watering expense, so etc. You could basically see that Horizon State is closing their doors now. If you go to their website, you get this. It says the site can't be reached. So it's unfortunate because voting on blockchain, I think, is a great use for blockchain, but the problem is getting these entities to actually use it. Do you actually think these corrupt, systems are actually going to be like, yeah, sure, let's totally be 100% immutable on the blockchain, right? Then we wouldn't be able to, have our crazy votes in Florida every election, right? So it is unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do? I mean, I think voting on the blockchain is a great use case for blockchain, but hey, it is what it is, and if these guys aren't able to move forward and, they don't have the finances, well, it is what it is, guys. But, you guys could read the whole thing if you're interested. There was a lot more involved. I'm kind of just skimming the surface on that one. But you do have 6 U.S. lawmakers headed to Switzerland to explore the country's policies on cryptocurrency, led by Maxine Waters. She was the one that was very vocal about Facebook's Libra. So it basically says, in a round of hearings last month, Facebook's head of blockchain, David Marcus, said Switzerland's Federal Data Protection and Information Agency will oversee the social media giant stablecoin. But after his remarks, the Swiss agency told CNBC it has not yet heard from Facebook. So we're going to see what this is all about. But before we go, I wanted to give a shout out to this article from Cointelegraph, and it says 3 positive impacts of cryptos simply existing. Just simply existing. I thought this was a great way to start our week and end the video. First, citizens secure welfare gains from the existence of cryptocurrencies because they offer diversification. Moreover, private digital currencies serve as competition for local investment and thus restrain monetary policy, therefore generating lower inflation, which is a good thing. Number 2, cryptocurrencies encourage local investment and serve as a complement, not as a substitute, value for that investment. In offering an alternative to local fiat, they discipline monetary policy, again reducing inflation, leading to higher returns from investment and thus more investment overall. And lastly, the government itself gains from permitting the use of cryptocurrencies within the local economy, given that it extracts revenue through taxation and thus benefits from the higher levels of local investment. So stop trying to hold it down and start trying to figure out ways to work with it, people. And that being said, it is time for the Ledger Nano S giveaway. So we had 7 days of the week, 7 videos, 1 through 7. Let's give it a okay, so we got 5. So number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is Friday's video. That was actually the breaking. Bakkt was launched that day. It was a pretty good day for cryptocurrencies, or for Bitcoin and crypto. Wow, 2.3K likes on that video. Smash the likes, guys. Thank you so much. So having a look over here, let's pop this in and let's see how many comments that we had. Comments should include specific text. Oh, that's pretty cool. So we could do comments now, like with just specific words. I didn't know that. So like you could actually say Ledger and then only comments with Ledger would get filtered. That's pretty cool. If we ever do a giveaway in the future, I'm going to use this. All right. So, I'm generating it again. Sorry, guys. It's Monday. All right. We are going to pick a winner. Drum roll, please. As always, great content, loving my daily dose of Crypto Zombie. Aller Kapow, thank you so much. I do this every single day, which is why I say if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Thank you, Aller Kapow. You are awesome. You know what to do if you're not already a member of the Crypto Zombie Telegram group. Just, click it there. Also, it's below in the description of this video, or you could just send me an email to my official email. And always remember, I will never contact you first. Those are scammers. I don't send emails and I don't hit people up. And I definitely, especially if you're a project looking for promotion, I don't hit up projects for promotional videos. I don't do that, okay? So that goes for everybody, both people who watch, projects looking for sponsorships, winners of giveaways, okay? I will never contact you. If you ever need to get me, contact me, official Telegram. I'm an admin. Thank you so much once again. That's it for me today, guys. Hope you are having a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Well, let's check real quick. What are we doing? And we're still just kind of hanging out around 10,700. So